Within the wondrous world of massively multiplayer online games exist other, less massive, but still very multiplayer-friendly games that STIX just doesn't really play. But I do. Hey guys, this is MRSSSTIX, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about Frozen Flame, a multiplayer open-world survival RPG from the indie studio Dreamside Interactive. I've personally been following this game with anticipation since probably 2020 and even played the demo when it was released a year ago on my own channel, which is mainly music videos and gets maybe one post a year, but I love survival games and feel that I was uniquely qualified as a survival game enthusiast and also wise enough to give this game a fair review. This is going to be my honest, all-encompassing yet easily digestible review of the game, in hopes that I can provide you with the information you need before deciding to purchase or avoid the game altogether. Because despite our hopes and dreams for games we're eagerly anticipating, some just don't live up to the hype, or the grandiose expectations we have for them, and some of them just aren't in a complete enough form yet. As of November 17th, the game was released onto Steam as an early access at a discounted price of $25.49. The server options at launch were local games with up to 4 players, private servers that cost, I think, $15 to play with up to 10 players, and an unreleased public server option that would have let you play with 50 players. I had planned on purchasing a private server to play with friends, but upon seeing the price at the time, opted out of it as it was much more expensive than the privately hosted servers I had for Ark Survival Evolved, which holds up to a total of 50 players. There was a bit of backlash from the community and its players upon this choice, and Dreamside within a few days jumped to resolve the displeasure to the best of their ability. Local servers can now host up to 6 friends, and private servers can now host up to 24 players, and they included another website for renting private servers for only $13. They do plan on releasing the public servers in stage 2 of their plans, along with PvP on public servers. Which brings me to the combat. Frozen Flame utilizes a third-person action combat system. At this point in time, I'm going to say I hadn't noticed any improvements or alterations to combat, as it felt like it did 1 year ago when I played through the demo. I even mentioned to future me that the combat felt clunky, and it still does. There's heavy attacks, dodging, stamina management, a special build-up attack, and blocking. Currently, the weapon types found within this game are staves, swords, axes, maces, and bows. Additional options are planned, but this is what's available at present. The bow feels perhaps the best out of all of them, but I will note that I and my friends had to aim slightly up and to the right of everything to even hit it. So I guess the reticle is more like a guideline, but you're gonna have to work out in finding where the true center is for aiming. Honestly though, I rarely come across a survival game where the combat doesn't feel clunky, so I guess it falls into par with every other survival game I've played and love. Most weapons have a special attack that comes with a buildup of flames, but the bow doesn't appear to have this, nor does it build up flames to utilize by swapping weapons like other weapons allow for. I'm not sure if this will be amended at another time, but it felt like using the bow despite its power and range was just not worth it to me. I found myself repeatedly going back to the staff, which was great for ranged attacks with unfortunately only one casting spell of fire. If you would like some variety within your magics, this will have to be unlocked via the skill tree, and can be used with any weapon. Within this, you can further customize your build to have things like increased health, a high jump, healing spell, lightning spell, and much more. The skill tree itself felt a little strange, as some of the skills near what I would assume would be more staff, melee weapon, or bow oriented didn't seem to quite go fully with the weapon type that it was nearby. But overall, the talents felt worthy of grinding towards, as some would give me more stamina, health, or speed. With all these things combined, it made the combat potentially more interesting facing off against the enemies. Within each beautiful biome are 4 big bosses to beat to unlock the portal to an even bigger boss before the next area. Beyond that, there are area mini-bosses that you encounter from either entering a dungeon or taking side quests. The world felt full of life, and there were enemies at fairly reasonable scattered distances. You could just be trotting to your base and find a boar or humanoid creature in your way that you will have to fight off, and some creatures that are usually docile during the day become angry at night and will attack. I never really felt, oh hey, this feels empty at really any point in time. I did, however, think, this is easy. I would find myself fighting a boss in the new biome and think, These mechanics are exactly like the boss mechanics in the previous region. They were also not very complex mechanics. Once you get down the rhythm, you're pretty much set. At one point in time when fighting the final boss for current content, all I did was walk in a circle, beating AoEs while I cast with my staff, utilizing cover behind his leg to avoid a laser from the sky. Even if they added more health to these enemies, I really don't think they'd be very challenging due to the simplicity of the encounter. And the last thing we need is unnecessary HP padding. This is not to say it wasn't still fun, and death isn't a possibility. Within any survival game, I like to drag my friends along with me, and against the dungeon boss, my friend Rogue died maybe 3 times against it due to poison, while I continued blast with my staff while maintaining a safe distance, and managed to kite both it and the ads for what felt like 5 minutes until it eventually died. The bosses do seem to scale with more people in the party, which is a nice additive if your party stays alive, unlike mine. Sorry, not sorry, Rogue. In the likelihood of death, the punishment of such isn't to lose your stuff, but you do lose your flames, which is basically your XP to the next level. To get it back, you just simply run back to your spot of death and grab them. Those of us familiar with Dark Souls games are, used to this. When you're not fighting for your life, you will need to be surviving and thriving in other ways. There is a bit of base building. Currently, there are only wooden structures, but you'll need to work at building yourself a solid foundation so you can begin crafting your gear and weapons and, of course, repairing it. These structures do have a lifespan though, and do degrade over time like most survival games, so do be aware that when you come back to your home, you might not have that crafting table anymore because time has eaten it away. They are currently adjusting the degrading time, as upon launch of early access there were complaints. The decay still happens rapidly, but there are improvements. Other than that, I can't really comment on building as that aspect isn't fully realized in the version we have now. I would make a wooden home with a chair and table, but felt no need for it at this time. You will also need to do a little bit of farming, cooking, and discovering recipes to give you different buffs and health recharge. You will need to stay warm as it gets cold in the frozen flame, and you will die if you get too cold. And generally just explore and gather. Currently, I have completed the game within roughly 14 hours and have done all the main story, side quest, and exploration that one can do within the early access release at this juncture. The flying was really cool, exploring was very fun and rewarding, the art style was lovely, the little puzzles you can do for XP or chests were also fun, but again, not very complex. Overall, it was a fun time for me, and I am glad I purchased the game and look forward to what is to come. There is a roadmap that they already have put out, and there seems to be a lot more content coming quickly, including a new biome in late December. Dreamside have proven they are listening to their community, and every other day have resolved some major displeasures the communities have. With all that said, is this game worth the higher cost among the other early access survival games out right now? I'm going to say no. But is this a future investment into something that has the definite potential to be thoroughly enjoyable experience with significant content for survival game enthusiasts? Yes. I know I'll be back in the game late December with my friends to continue our quest and learn more about this wondrous world and its story. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in and watching. Don't forget to leave a like and comment below so that I can show Stix I'm better at this than he is. This was MRSSSTIX, signing off for now. Bye! 4 big bosses to beat to unlock a pivotal. Why can't I talk during these?